in this video, I'm going to make a lazy mushroom risotto. So again, this is another one of those recipes that's not traditional at all. And anyone who's made real risotto probably will take offense to it. I don't know. So what we're going to need for this recipe, obviously we're going to need some chopped mushrooms. I've got some chopped onions. You can use red onions or white onions, whatever you like. And I've got some garlic. That's about three-ish cloves of garlic, so you can put less or more, whatever you like. I've got some dried thyme and parsley, and of course probably use salt and pepper. And then I have my two favorite ingredients that I think I put these ingredients in every single recipe, which is your good old Tamari and your nutritional yeast. If you haven't bought Tamari or nutritional yeast yet, you should probably go and do that. So we've got those, and I'm also going to use a little bit of white wine vinegar. I think traditional risotto has white wine in it, but we're going to use vinegar, and I've got some cashew milk as well. And then, like any risotto, you really need some rice, but actually I am just using some leftover rice that we had made yesterday. So this is short grain brown rice, and it's just leftover. So it's a nice way to use up some leftovers that you might have. So that is all we need, I think, and a little bit of water for cooking if you need it. And we're going to put this all together, and you'll see that it'll come together in a really nice creamy sauce. So I'm going to take the onion off my hand, and we're going to take a look down below here. So the mushrooms are going to go in. They are going to cook up fast, and we're just going to throw the onions in and the garlic right away. So we'll get that going. And you could also, I think a lot of risotto has traditionally like asparagus in it. I've seen that a lot. And so you could steam some of the asparagus and maybe put it on top. I always mess up the cooking time on asparagus, so I wouldn't throw it right in the pan. So we're going to let that cook out. And this pan needs a little bit of water. But you want to be careful with the water because the mushrooms and the onion will release a lot of their own water. And we want to, we don't want to do like a traditional risotto where you keep adding liquid and adding liquid, because this is leftover rice. We're not cooking the rice. When you do real risotto, you're basically cooking the rice over a long period of time. We don't want to do that. So if you chop your onions nice and fine, this shouldn't take too long. And again, the mushrooms will cook down really fast, so you don't need to worry about them. Another thing that would be delicious in this is a little bit of kale chopped up. But I'm not doing that. We don't have any kale right now. Awesome. So this is cooking very fast. And actually, I did forget one ingredient that I'm going to try with this. It's a little bit, you don't have to add this, but I think for flavor I'm going to add a little bit of some vegan margarine. So I see a bunch of new people popping in, so we're making lazy mushroom risotto, and we've got our onions and mushrooms cooking with some garlic, and I'm putting in a little bit of vegan butter here. So this is really nice and cooking fast. So we're going to get our seasonings in here before the rice. So I'm going to put some black pepper. I'm going to leave out the salt, I think, but we're going to put in our thyme because mushrooms go really good with thyme. And we'll get in, I would just do a splash of the vinegar. It can be pretty potent. So maybe like a teaspoon or less. And our tamari, and then the tamari is going to give it that nice savory flavor that you're looking for too. So again, probably about a teaspoon of that, of the two liquids. We don't want a lot of liquid because our rice is already cooked. Oh, that smells so good. That smells great. So we've got our seasonings in. And we're going to, I think I'm going to put the nutritional yeast in first. So the nutritional yeast, again, is going to give it that savory flavor. And then it's actually going to help us thicken it. So we're going to spread that in. And that probably about a tablespoon. And then to give us the creamy flavor and make it even thicker, we're going to use cashew. So for this recipe, I would stick with cashew milk or soy milk. It's nice and thick, or oat milk, but any plant milk will do. And that, again, probably a tablespoon or so. Let's mix that all together. So now we've got, see, you got to really not put too much liquid in here. So we're going to let that thicken up a little bit. So again, the nutritional yeast is going to help us thicken it up. But when we put the rice in, it's going to absorb all of the liquid that's in there. I see someone asking about the vinegar, so it's white wine vinegar. So I think traditional risotto has a bit of white wine in it, and so we just want to get that flavor. So I have probably here, I'm going to say this is a cup and a half, a cup and 3/4 of rice, so that should be enough. But if you have too much rice, you're just going to have a little bit of extra rice. You can put some extra veggies on top. So that's short grain brown rice that's already cooked. So you can see the water is absorbing quickly. And again, this is not too fancy and not too exact. So if you do end up with too much liquid, you can just let it cook longer and the rice will definitely soak that up. Oh my god, this smells so good and I'm hungry right now because I didn't get an afternoon snack. So good. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I think someone is texting me 50 million times. Sorry about the noise. So this is on probably medium high because I wanted to cook this fast. So we're gonna let it just heat up. And I might sneak a little bit. Oh, it's so good. So a lot of new people joining. I'm almost actually done. So we've got a lazy rice risotto. So we've got mushrooms, onions, and garlic. We've got our nutritional yeast, tamari, white wine vinegar. We've got some thyme in here. And actually I'm going to put a little bit more thyme because it's not enough for me. So you'll know when it's ready when a lot of the liquid is out. So the rice will almost stick to the bottom here. So I see someone asking alternatives to mushrooms. So if you don't like mushrooms for this recipe, you could make it with just the onions and the rice, and then what I would suggest to give it some more interesting flavors is to steam some asparagus or broccoli on top. So, or even like I said, you could do some sauteed kale and garlic and put that on top. So you don't need the mushrooms in this at all. You can just do the rice. And actually another thing that would be really good is some frozen peas. If you added the frozen peas in right about now, that would be great. So yeah, you don't need mushrooms at all. I just like them. Awesome. So you guys can see there is no liquid sticking around on this pan. It's really soaked up and thick, and that's because of the rice and the nutritional yeast. So we'll put this in our fancy bowl. I almost want to eat all of this, but my boyfriend's watching, so I'll have to save him some. We got that there. In our cool fancy white bowl. So I'm going to put a little bit of parsley on here. That's a little bit too much parsley, my goodness. So it doesn't look, I don't think risotto ever looks fancy. This doesn't look probably as Instagrammable as most of my recipes, but here we go. So, just to recap guys, we've got leftover rice, we've got our onions and mushrooms and garlic, and then we've got nutritional yeast, tamari, white wine vinegar, and cashew milk, and a bit of water in there, and some butter. So take a look at that. And this would actually, I wish I had some green veggies like broccoli or something, because steamed broccoli on top of this with some garlic would be like amazing. But I am so hungry, so I'm going to eat it. Or fresh parsley would obviously have been way better. So you can see how nice and thick that got. That's very good. It's very savory. It's not too salty. And from the Tamari and the Nutritional yeast, you really get that, it's called umami, is that savory flavor that's not salty. It's called umami. So that is really great. And just a little bit of thyme. Actually, if I had, sometimes I grow lemon thyme, and that would have been amazing on this as well. So I got that there. So that was another super quick recipe. Feels kind of like cheating, but it's really awesome if you have leftover rice. So definitely give that a try. Try it with some different veggies and let me know how it went. And again, I'll thank you guys for joining me. It's really awesome to see everybody logging in from all over the world actually, which was really cool. And to let you know, I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel later. And for anyone who has seen previous posts about it, we did finish building our hydroponic garden tower, so I'm going to put that video up on YouTube as well, so definitely take a look for that. And I'll put the full recipe for this under the video on YouTube. But that's it. You can check me out on Instagram and YouTube, or you can call me if you want, and I'll eat this on the phone with you, whatever you like. So that's everything, guys. And again, I'll put the recipe on the YouTube video. See you later. Thanks for joining. Bye.